This is going to be viewer appreciation night. I'm going to be looking at your questions, and you guys sent me some great ones. I appreciate the fact that many of you listen to a lot of the shows, and from time to time, you actually push the like button and subscribe. I hope you're subscribed. That would be great, and hit that notify button. You want to be reminded of what the shows are that are coming up. But in point of fact, you are a great audience, and I appreciate that you do come by. And I have been a little remiss lately. I have been trying to get monetized on X and really get a presence on X as well as here. And because of that, I have neglected you all with regard to taking care of checking out the comments on a daily basis. I did give a warning about that about a year ago as I saw my numbers going up and up and up. I was like, okay, there's going to be a point at which I'm not going to be able to do this in quite the same degree as I did in the early days. But I could do better, and I will try to do better. But tonight, I'm going to answer a bunch of questions, specifically, from today and earlier this week. I did want to check just for fun. I thought we should look at while I'm doing this. This morning, I did put up the wrong video again. Can you believe that? I mean, I need a keeper. If I only had an assistant, that'd be great. Well, I do have an assistant. She's in the Philippines, and she would not notice if I put up the wrong video. But anyway, the stock is still sitting almost exactly where it was in the last video, at 258. Let's call it that. That's close enough. So we looking like we're going to be down in the morning. I continue to believe that this might be the bottom. Other people wouldn't agree and think we could be going lower. Listen, I also want to talk to you about the Trump. I'm going to talk to you about Trump and keeping promises. One of the reasons I like Trump now, and when I first started seeing Trump, I didn't like him at all. Never cared for him on his TV program. Didn't care for him that much as a celebrity. When he first came out for president, didn't like him. Was inter was I favored every single other person on the stage in 2015, 2016 when we were running up to that election. And then when Trump won, it was like, okay. And then, he started actually, he started his term in office. And I'm like, wait a minute, this guy's like Reagan. He keeps his promises and he's doing it again. Okay. I think the Democrats should pay attention to what's going on right now. And I also think even the Republicans and the folks in the middle who voted for Trump should really be paying attention to this. Whatever he said he was going to do, running for office is what he is now doing. Just go down, look at the list, check them off. Okay. Interest rates are down, mortgages are down, gas prices are down, oil prices are down. Pretty soon, food prices are going to start coming down because guess what? If oil prices are down and gasoline prices are down and interest rates are down, all of those things are going to impact food pricing. And so food pricing will come down as well. So just watch out. He said he was going to do the tariff thing. He talked about how he was going to end the wars. This is what he said he's going to do. And he has done. He just goes off. Check mark, check mark, check mark. He said he was going to cut back on government. He talked about Doge for 2 months as the election was coming together. So everything he's doing is totally expected. A little shocking about the Canada and Mexico thing, but it's part of the overall plan, and it's pretty darn exciting. Okay, let's take a look at what folks had to say here today. We're going to start with Highlander Apparel. And Highlander has been following for a very long time and lots of comments over the years. He says, Randy, I tend to be very neutral on future projects. Here's why. A year and 6 months before the Cybertruck was released, it was as we got into that time period, the stock is going to go to the moon. The stock's going to go, but it didn't go for a simple reason. There's a lot of people that don't like the Cybertruck, having nothing to do with politics. They just don't like it. And I've been in plenty of Cybertrucks. He says he's tried them. I don't own one, but I've been in plenty. So what's going to happen with the future products if the people don't like them? I think that's a fair question, he says. So here's the deal with the Cybertruck. People love the Cybertruck. People love every single product that Elon has come out with. I mean, can you tell me a product? Tell me a product that they haven't loved. Every single product has done extremely well. every product that he's ever done in not just this industry, but other industries. He has a talent, he has a knack for knowing what the people want. And part of that is he has 210 million people now telling him what they want. Who else has that? Nobody else has that kind of information coming in literally directly to him. Elon, would you please change this on this? Would you please do a car that does this? How about this? And how about, holy mackerel, that is, I would love to have had that when I was running my factory. I'm sure that it would have made me even more successful. So anyway, no, I'm going to say that the Cybertruck is loved by those who own them. Tremendous. They just can't get over how much they like them. I think the current success or lack of success that some people see in the Cybertruck has everything to do with the ramp. And there are reasons that we don't know yet as to why the ramp is not going as quickly as some of us would like. And he said, and then, oh, you know what? I didn't get this person's name down. I'm so sorry. He says, look, it's the same stuff over and over again. Always a reason for everybody to be mad at Tesla and Elon. Years of this, getting tired. He didn't say that, I said that. Replace Elon. He just delays projects these days at the last minute with his final look. He has to look at them one more time before they go out onto the marketplace. Well, again, I did a very long video, and he might be responding to that in part, is that, Elon, there's no way the stock is at these numbers if it wasn't for Elon. Okay, it's the Elon effect, the impact. My number would be, we'd be around 225. I think 225 would be a fair number based on energy and vehicles going forward, and probably a little higher than that, even if Elon were, to go back to his own planet. People might pay a little bit more than that because the rest of the stuff is already done. I mean, that's why he can take this time off. The engineers are doing just fine, and they pick up the phone. They go, "Hey, Elon, I got this problem." He answers it in like 3 seconds. Anyway, all right. So we've got time to get serious. 1111. Great handle. All right. He says, "Look, your content is superb." That's all I needed here. Oh no. Okay. But then there's a but. Come on now. Your content is superb, but I must address the elephant in the room. China can easily disrupt Tesla and other Western robotics companies by cutting them off from critical supply chain materials and components, especially for the Optimus bot, like the actuators and even Tesla cars. China aims to dominate the global robotics industry, and their control over the supply chain gives them the power to do so. Even if they don't act now, a likely war with Taiwan could change everything. Tesla could lose access to essential parts from China and crucial chips from Taiwan. This could force Tesla to have to completely rebuild their supply chain from scratch, a process that would take over 5 years, if that's even feasible. Okay, very good commentary, very smart, very wise. Appreciate your thoughts. Yeah, there is no doubt right now that China has us in some ways by the short hairs. This is another reason why I am such a Trump fan. I've been saying for a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe actually since I started the channel, that the number one thing, the only thing that I liked that Biden did was the CHIPS Act, because I said we need to make sure that we have the strategic capability to handle, to manufacture and or extract the things that we need economically as well as militarily. If we don't have those things, we're at a disadvantage, and somebody can hold it over us when we least need to see that. So yes, of course, if China decided to attack Taiwan, I think they will not do this. I think their theory is that they'll be able to take Taiwan back into their under their influence again in 2050, that they're going to move towards convincing them as opposed to going to war with them. But having said that, you are 100% right. This is a risk. This is a worldwide risk right now, and there's at least the potential that China could do that. China would do that at great cost to themselves. The pariah of the world, potentially major war, all kinds of negative things could happen. And yeah, but well said. They have this strategic advantage right now. Hopefully, with Trump doing what he's doing, which is, again, I'm so excited to see him do this, He has already gone right through the list and said, okay, strategically, we need this. We need chips. We need shipbuilding. We need steel. We need copper. We need aluminum. We need to be agriculturally independent. We need to be energy independent. We need the rare earths. We need to extract our own rare earths. Elon is, of course, refining the lithium. We need to set up more refinery of the rare earth metals so that we're doing the refining here. Yeah, all that's being worked on, and there's more things that we need to do, having the manufacturing capability itself. And that doesn't just mean having the factories that can make the things. It means we're going to need tool and die people to be able to make the molds and the dies and the stamping machines, et cetera, to be able to compete. Not only compete economically, but of course, again, if it does come to war. Oh, and then of course, for me, it's all about drones, man. We need to be number one in the world in drones. And I guess there's a few companies out there that are doing a good job on that. All right. So this would be, well, I can barely read it here. Martin Heimstra, 5,500. He says, how about storming the Capitol? Did you think that was good behavior? Okay, so I'm talking, of course, he's responding to my comments about what these maniacs are doing to the Tesla facilities, to the Tesla showrooms, the people that are hurting, damaging Tesla cars, confronting consumers out there, confronting people out there, possibly the threat of assault is real from these maniacs. Okay, and so this guy says, well, you're complaining about all that, but what about January 6th? And I'm like, well, duh, no, it shouldn't happen. Does anybody say that it should? I don't find anybody saying that they think that this was a good idea. Conservatives are embarrassed by it, tremendously embarrassed, and say so all the time. But that doesn't mean that we think that those people necessarily should have all gone to jail. No, I think I said it on the channel. I would have cut it up differently than what Trump did. I would have kept a couple of those guys in jail. So yeah, I would have been a little more nuanced about the way that I decided. I might have reduced sentences, or I'm not sure exactly. I would have had to go into greater detail. But overall, most of those people were carried along with the crowd, just like most of the people in all of these riots and stuff that are happening in these cities. Most of these people are swept along. And guess what happens to them? They get a slap on the hand and they do not go to jail and nothing happens to them. So the fact that that's what happened in the January 6th. So should we do a do-over? Should we start from now? And should we say, okay, from now on, we're going to put these people in jail? I think so. I've always thought so, but there you go. All right. So this is from OG 1689. He says, if things are so good, why is the stock still dropping? Okay. This could be an hour-long program all in itself, but I have talked about this a lot on the show. What we've got is a swing stock. Tesla stock goes way up, and then it comes way back down. Just like NVIDIA. Why is NVIDIA down? $1 trillion from its all-time high. NVIDIA didn't do anything. NVIDIA's not political. NVIDIA's not, doing any crazy, Jensen Huang hasn't gone out and made anybody mad at him. But the stock is down $1 trillion. It's down over 25%. Okay, well, why? How come that's happening to NVIDIA? Because it's a swing stock and it got way out. It got way overvalued on hopium or on ideas of what it was going to do and what it wasn't going to do. And then other people come in and say, well, it's never going to do that. So we're going to cut it down. Same thing with Tesla. People are saying, yeah, wait till those robots come out. Oh my gosh, look at what's going to happen with cyber cabs. And somebody said earlier, what's going to happen with those cyber trucks? And then we got the Gen 3 or the Model Q vehicle coming out, and all these great things are coming, and they're all going to make this massive difference. And then the economy doesn't cooperate, or the macro doesn't cooperate, So yeah, there's so many things going on. So that's why my channel. That's why you need to watch every day, because we go into all of this every single day and we try to analyze all of those moving parts. It's not just one moving part. It's not like, okay, great new product just came out, so the stock will just keep going up forever. No, it's just not how it works. And for some stocks, they're less volatile. Most stocks, almost all stocks, are less volatile than Tesla. And then to make matters more interesting, there's a tremendous amount of people playing the options on Tesla, and that makes it even more volatile, more likely to do these wild swings. All right, so this would be from I just did OG69. Then we got Running Man 5871. He says, look, robust economy. The 10-year bonds are dropping like a stone as everybody knows Trump will destroy the U.S. economy. Weekly tariffs on and off mean that companies importing huge amounts of goods to prepare, they can't prepare, and then Trump caves, and then they whatever they just did, it's unpredictable. So as a businessman, I thought, Randy, you would understand. Sure, I get it, especially as an importer and exporter my entire life, still importing today. Started being an importer I was working for an importer in 19 that would have been 1971, January of 1971. I went to work for Abus Security Locks, which was importing padlocks from Germany. So that's how long I've been an importer. Pretty much 100% of that time, I've been either importing or exporting or both. So yeah, I understand tariffs. It's not just tariffs. Please, it's not just tariffs. You put on a tariff and the other country gives incentives. They subsidize the product? Or they try to force their currency down? Or they I mean, Taiwan, I watched the whole thing with, again, the economy. When I started out, it was Japan, okay, and then it was Taiwan, and then it was South Korea, and now it's China. Now it's going to Vietnam, Cambodia, et cetera, and Mexico. I've seen it go country to country to country. Well, what happens is, for instance, Taiwan, I was heavily involved in Taiwan. Taiwan got too expensive. So what happens? Well, the Taiwan guys started putting up plants in China. Yeah. And they still have a lot of the Taiwanese manufacturers have plants in China as well, or at this point, maybe only in China, and they've stopped making in Taiwan because it's too expensive. So many different things impact the way that international trade takes place. It isn't just about the tariffs. And what Trump is telling you is, yeah, all of those things are happening, and they're all against the U.S. because we've allowed it. Okay, we have been the codependent parent. Okay, and it's time for that to end, is what he's saying. So, yep, it's going to be a little bit weird for a while. The economy is not as robust. I predicted, I started talking about it 7 weeks ago. I said, yes, we're longer, 8 weeks ago. We're going to have a probable recession. It's not going to be a deep one. It's going to be it's going to be a hiccup. Elon said it before I said it. He said, look, there's going to be some heartache. Then Scott Bessent said it over the weekend. And then President Trump said it this morning. There's going to be roughness in the next 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. And then it's going to be phenomenal. And so just hang on, buddy. It's going to be just fine. This is from Michael Faraday, 8135. I like your optimism, and I hope some of the things you are predicting happen. I can, however, tell one that is definitely not happening. Russia is not going to give up nukes. It's never going to happen. Nukes are the only reason they remain a military superpower. Obama suggested that years ago. Russians considered it a huge insult that he suggested it. As for Europe investing into the military, they started to do that as soon as Russia invaded Ukraine. It has little to do with Trump other than fears that Trump is now too deep into Putin's rear end to be considered a reliable ally. Okay, I don't know where to start. Number one, thank you for liking my optimism. All right. I thought the most important thing that you said in here is that Russia won't give up their nukes because it would cause them to be less of a superpower. Maybe. I think that's a very interesting idea to bring up. I think that if the idea is that Russia, China, and the U.S. get together, and of course they have to get India and Pakistan involved in this, they maybe even have to get Israel involved in this. If it's going to be one, it's got to be everybody. I think there's a chance, and I think that actually Putin and Trump talked about it last term. And I don't think Putin thought it was embarrassing to be talking, or I don't think he's embarrassed by the fact that Trump brought it up or insulted by it. So I do think it will come up. I think it will be talked about, and maybe it'll be like the START treaty, I think it was called, the SALT treaty, I forget. Anyway, Reagan was involved in cutting the nukes in half, and maybe we could just cut them in half again. Maybe cut them more than half this time, and get another start on ending that particular situation. Okay, then what was your other point? Oh yeah, and you said that Europe started increasing their military spending before Trump came into office, and it has nothing to do with Trump. Ask Grok. Remembered how Trump came into office last time, said, "I'm leaving NATO," and they went, "Oh, okay, we'll pay our full 2%." Now this time he came in and says, I might have to leave NATO. This is stupid. I'm not going to keep on doing this. And they just had a huge meeting in Europe with, I forget, 17 of the European heads of state or something in this meeting. And they came out of the meeting and they go, okay, you're right. That's what they said after the meeting. Trump, you're right. We have to be able to protect ourselves. That's what came out of the meeting. So I'm sorry. I agree with you in part and disagree with you in part. Mr. Ed 2291, another favorite commenter, always coming up with fun stuff. He says, as a retired teacher, I cannot emphasize enough how right Larry is. I saw the number of non-teaching positions constantly rise until they were almost equal to the number of teachers. Rather than help teachers, they were an increasing administrative burden upon the teachers. Principals had to please them instead of the teachers and the students. One of the many bad results is that nobody knew the difference between a good and bad teacher. Yeah, so I have lots of teachers in my family. I got my wife, as many of you know, is a university professor, and she's seen the exact same thing, talks about it all the time. The administrivia is overwhelming. The freedom that it cuts out for professors to be able to do their job is incredible. And yeah, and it's hurting the students. The students are now basically automatons that believe they all deserve A's, and all they want to know is, how do I get my A? It's no longer a place like an Oxford or someplace where you go and you are there because you really, really want to learn and become good at something. It's very sad, very bad. Okay, let's go. We've got this one from Bicycles, Buycycles. He says, this is somebody who apparently is, should be my friend. Anyway, he says, you are somewhat delusional. Well, there is that. Right-wingers are not generally environmentalists. They are very pro-ice cars, drill baby drill, etc. You are the exception, and Larry and Jeff maybe. Well, as it turns out, almost 100% of the people that are on my channel as regular guests are conservatives, even MAGAs, okay? And 100% of them own Teslas, sometimes two or three or four or five. And some of them have solar roof like I do. Some of them have power walls. I'm so much of a conservationist that I was passing around petitions for the Proposition 1 back in California back in 1969 or 70, which was to keep it was the Coastal Commission, not the Coastal Commission, it was the, clean up the air in California thing, because of course the smog was horrific. So no, I think clean air and clean water, I think it's always good to conserve any way you can. And almost all conservatives that I know agree with me 100%. But sometimes we think that you guys are wrong on the left with regard to what you want to accomplish. Okay. So for instance, I think the whole deal about global warming is done. I think there's a few hangers on. There's like 12 people that still think that that's a problem. The polar bears are still here, and the ice is still in the Arctic, and the icebergs are still happening. And some of the icebergs that have melted, they've revealed, civilization underneath there, showing that, men have lived in a time and have lived in those locations before when those ice flows weren't there. Anyway, I'm sorry, after 30 years, 30 plus years of this nonsense, I think most people have given up on that idea. But that does not change the fact that we want clean air, clean water, etc. But I will tell you another secret. Most people in the world will not clean up their air, clean up their water, or be interested in conservation until they know that their meals are secure. They have a secure roof over their head. They are secure against invading tribes or invading countries or whatever. Until they feel secure, they're not going to take any money out of their pocket to make sure that the environment is clean. Okay. And that's just how humans are. And I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Right now, you see China finally getting around to starting to clean up their air because their people are doing better. And now they can go ahead and tackle that problem. Anyway, that would be my answer to you is, yeah, we're conservative. The conservatives conserve. That's what it means. Conservative. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Where does that leave us? I'm going to look at that Tesla stock one more time before I let you go. Well, you could go, of course, anytime. Well, look at that. It's coming up a little bit. 258.33, up a couple of bucks since we started the show. I hope this was useful and helpful. I hope there was a few things that your buddies in the comments brought up that you hadn't thought about before, or that maybe helps you to understand me or understand Tesla or understand the economy or understand the markets better, because that's what we try to do on this channel. That's the goal of the channel, is to make you have more information arbitrage. That is if you're going to trade any single stock, okay, if you want to just play, if you want to give the money to the investment advisor and let him, invest your money, great. If you're watching my channel, it's probably because you're trading Tesla, or you're buying and holding Tesla, or you are somehow investing in a single stock. You might be investing in multiple single stocks, and you might be trading or not trading. Whatever it is, the only advantage, the only way you have a chance to beat just sticking the money into treasuries and letting them sit there is if you have an information advantage. That's the only way. And that's my whole goal on the channel. If you know friends of yours out there that need to know more about how the economy works, everything from tariffs, how small business works compared to how big business works, how import-export works, how manufacturing works, how wholesale, how distribution works, how about the margins at each level of the distribution channel, how about the way that things used to work compared to how they're working now, how about things having to do with AI coming into the business community right now. Well, see, I just have this weird background where I've had to deal with all those things over my career. I've owned over 40 companies, and they've been in many different areas of the world. And then I consulted with over 400 companies, that everything from chimney sweeps to Bel Air. I had a client who was a plastic surgeon in Bel Air. Okay. So, and all the way to the other end, I'm sorry, chimney sweeps. I'm not putting you down, but I had chimney sweeps. I've had handymen. I've had house cleaners as my clients. Okay. So I have a very weird range of experience, including law school. If you know people that you think could benefit from not my wisdom, well, maybe, who knows, once in a while, or maybe they just benefit from, sitting under somebody who's had all that experience, send them my way. Let's build this channel. Come on now. I needed to double. I want to get up. I'm like Brian White. He says he wants to be at 100,000 subscribers. Hey, right now I would take 50,000. That'd be great. I could do half a Brian. All right, that's all I got. Let's get together again in the morning for the regular shows on Monday after the bell, and then Larry Goldberg, and then Brian White. It'll be a fun. Well, I think it's going to be Phil Basil tomorrow night. I think it's going to be Phil Basil because I messed up this morning and didn't run the Phil Basil video, so I'll probably do that on Monday night. All right, that's it. I'm done. It's been great talking to you.